Hi, welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. And big game on today, of course, Arsenal versus Chelsea. And you know what? I may be being a bit cynical here, but I always notice, and I think I might have said this before, that every time there's a game on, especially a game of this sort of magnitude, the transfer talk seems to really dip. You don't see as many rumours around. Now, as I said, maybe I'm being cynical, but I always notice to that, and I think to myself, is it because they've got a lot more things to talk about and fill up the papers with, so they don't have to make up rumours? Work it out for yourselves. Anyway, let's get into some of the transfer rumours that are flying around today. And the first one that seems to be around a lot, I've heard about it quite a lot, Arsenal being linked with this guy. He goes by the name of Leroy Sane. Sane is a 20-year-old attacking midfielder, plays for Schalke over there in Germany. He's one of the big things over there at the moment in Germany. And he's wanted by a lot of clubs at the moment. Lots of clubs have been looking at him. Real Madrid, the biggest out of all of them, that are hot on his heels. Also, Liverpool are apparently interested. And Arsenal are very interested. Arsenal, of course, as we keep saying, Wenger saying that, you know what, if it's a special talent, I'll bring him in. This guy is deemed as one of those special talents. And as I said, still very young, only 20 years of age. Apparently, he's got a £30 million release clause in his contract at Schalke. And, yeah, he's, you know, lots and lots of interest around for Sane at the moment. And lots of people suggesting that this could be a player that Arsenal moving to get in the attacking midfield position. As I've said before, come the summer, we're going to need midfielders. It's normally a part of the field where we're really blessed in. But some of our players, say for instance, like Thomas Rosicky, who's an attacking midfielder, will be on the way out, and you're going to be looking for players to replace him. So Leroy Sane at the moment heavily linked with a move to Arsenal. For me, not something that can happen in January. If it is going to happen at all, you're talking about a move in the summer. But we'll have to watch this space on that one. It's interesting that Lothar Matthäus, the legendary German player, has advised Sane to stay. He said, listen to Sane, stay at Schalke. If you move to any of these big clubs like Real Madrid and you move to, you know, any of those type of clubs, you're not going to get no game time. Stay where you are at Schalke, develop your career, and you become a better player. So interest in that one. Another German, or shall I say, player that plays over in Germany, who's been talked about at Arsenal now for weeks and weeks, is Granit Xhaka. Of course, you know a lot about him because I've spoken so much about him on the show before. Borussia Mönchengladbach, defensive stroke, box-to-box midfielder. Apparently he's got it all, this guy. Very, very talented. Again, another young player on the up. Heavily linked with Arsenal. I've sort of been looking on it and saying to myself, why, if they just signed El Nene, would they go for this guy right now in January? There's been a lot of papers and that really talking it up and saying, no, it is something that they feel could happen. But interesting that the sporting director of Schalke has come out, and I'll give you his quotes. His name is Max Eberl, and he's branded the transfer talks amusing. He said, there were no offers, there is no figure that I have seen in black and white, and there has been no contact with Arsenal. So there you have it. I think that could possibly put all the Granit Xhaka rumours to bed, although they still persist. There's still lots of people linking us with him, with Chelsea, with, you know, could it be agent talk? I don't know, but doesn't look like Granit Xhaka to Arsenal, as I've said before, will be happening this January transfer window. Ones that possibly could are these two young up-and-coming stars, both played in Nigeria's under-17 team. We've spoken about them before, Kelechi Nwakali and Samuel Chukwueze. The Star claims that the deal has been agreed to sign both of these youngsters, and it will happen sometime next week. Only stumbling block at the moment is just sorting out the work permit issues, but both of them should be joining Arsenal. As I said to you before, they were both two of the top players at the tournament, one of them winning the player of the tournament. And, you know, these are two hot prospects at the moment. As I said, I don't know where the Star have got their information from, but they seem pretty confident that these two will be signing on for Arsenal next week. Not players, of course, that would go straight into the first team, I presume. They're players that are going to have to develop and going to have to learn if they do come, but being heavily linked with moves to Arsenal this coming week. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Arsenal also getting linked today with another youngster. This time it's a goalkeeper. Goes by the name of Kepa Arrizabalaga. Right? Arrizabalaga. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm sure our Spanish-speaking watchers here will put me right. He plays for Atletico Bilbao. He's 21 years of age. Very talented keeper. Lots of people talking this guy up over in Spain. According to Spanish publication Dan Ballon, Arsenal are very interested in signing him. He's been on loan this season at Rayo Valladolid, and he's been impressing. He's really been impressing with his performances, and Arsenal on the lookout and interesting. I mean, you look on it and say to yourself, well, how many goalkeepers do Arsenal need? I think clubs like Arsenal, if a player, or all the big clubs, if a player is really talented, they are simply on the lookout. It's as simple as that. You know, they don't want to make the big talented players pass. I mean, how many times have you guys seen these headlines or seen these things like Arsenal could have bought Ronaldo, or Arsenal could have bought this? And, you know, at the time, maybe they pass on them and they've gone on to really big things. So a lot of clubs are conscious of that. And sometimes they don't want to let these real massive talents go, and they will still sign them on, maybe loan them out again. But bit like what Chelsea did with Courtois. But yeah, this guy being heavily linked with a move to Arsenal today. Great news on a player that is already at the club, Alexis Sanchez. Now, we all know as Arsenal fans, over the past few years, maybe not few years, 10 years, we've had the annual thing that when the January transfer window or the summer transfer window comes around, it's not a matter of who we're buying, it's a matter of who we can keep. And we've seen Fabregas go out through the door. We've seen Adebayor go through the door. We've seen Robin van Persie, Sami Nasri, going all the way back to Ashley Cole, leaving us and going and joining rivals or moving on to other clubs. Now, Alexis Sanchez, since the January transfer window has been open, you've seen him being linked with clubs like Manchester United, Manchester City, who are apparently really interested in trying to, you know, put a big bid together to try and get him. We've heard all kind of rumours. Real Madrid. Alexis Sanchez has come out and he said, listen, I'm not going anywhere. I'm so happy to be playing for Arsenal. I love it at Arsenal. I love it in London. He said that there's a great unity at Arsenal between the fans and the club. And he said he's got absolutely no plans to leave the club. And he's happy. He wants to say, he's even promised that if Arsenal win the league, he's going to get an Arsenal tattoo done to commemorate it. So that's great news, because as I said, normally when we get to this time of year in the, you know, in past seasons, it's been a nightmare for Arsenal fans, because it's not, as I said, not a matter of who we're going to buy, who can we keep hold of. So great news to know that Alexis is, you know, looking to be here at Arsenal long term, and it'd be great to see him playing today as well. Matthew Debuchy, on the other hand, as we know, is on the way out of the club. It looks like favourites to sign him now are Bayer Leverkusen. Aston Villa kind of cooling on the loan move. It looks like Villa don't really want to spend a lot of money on this loan move that we're being told could be like 1.2 million from now till the end of the season. Not prepared to meet any buyout clause to buy him outright. Aston Villa, of course, are preparing for life in the Championship. So obviously they don't want to go forking out loads of money when, you know, next year, you know, all these guys could be playing in the Championship. So, you know, they're loan move maybe, but they're not looking to buy. So Debuchy at the moment favourite to go to Bayer Leverkusen, which of course would be a good move for him. Decent profile club, and of course he'd be able to get a lot of game time in to achieve his dream, which is to try and play in the Euros of Euro 2016, which is being held in France. So it's all going to be resolved in about the next week or so. We'll find out exactly where Debuchy ends up. Let's see what you guys have had to say. Remember yesterday I was asking a couple of questions. I was asking about Arsene Wenger. I'm saying there's these rumours out yesterday that Arsenal on the verge of offering him a 2-year extension on his current contract. I was asking people, are you happy with that? Do you think it's a good thing to give him a 2-year extension, especially in the light that Pep Guardiola's hasn't done the deal yet, although we know it's more or less done. And also, I was asking you about Cavani as well. What do you think? Should Arsenal go out and get Cavani? Apparently really unhappy at PSG, the special talent that we're all being told about. Should Arsenal make a move? So asked a couple of questions that great responses in the comments, by the way. Thank you very much for that. Let's do a few of them. Lakshmi Guna says, Wenger won't step down until he's had a good shot at the Champions League. So that's what he thinks. Gunner Game Reviewer 22 said, not sure if it's good to extend the contract because I'm not sure if we currently have European ambitions. Core Tomlin said, I'd be delighted if Arsene signed a new contract. Mbarak Hinewe says, let's get real. If he goes, who's available out there that can come in and do better than him? Kwame says, I'm not surprised. I believed he'll be here until about 2020. Ari Gabriel on Cavani says Cavani is younger than Giroud and has 44 goals in 81 league games for PSG in his unfavoured position. If Giroud can do it in England, so can he. But if the price tag is more than 25 million, which of course it would be, then it's not for me. The price tag you're talking would be 40 million plus, easily would be that sort of figure. And also, you know what, doing it for PSG at the moment in a league where they're 10 times better than everybody else. Great record, but it's still not, I don't think we can go completely off of that because Cavani's definitely not the force that he used to be. Plaxon says, Wenger's main contract runs until 2017. While I want a refreshing, a different style of management at the club, Wenger is still a top manager, barring his stubbornness and having a small squad with small players. Wenger is also getting older, and we have to come to terms that he will not last forever. Ron Swanson says 4 more years of Wenger. I'm not sure if he's saying it in happiness or, if he's not too happy about it. Adam Shearer says, wait till the end of the season and then assess. We should let Wenger decide when he wants to leave. I'm not sure everybody would agree with that. AFC General says, please, Wenger, just leave as a legend this summer. So he would like him to be gone. Let's see. Babe OK says, in Wenger we trust. Enemic says, very happy that Wenger will be staying. However, forget about Cavani. If he really was unhappy, he would have pounced at the news that Arsenal being interested back in the summer. He's just luring his options and choosing the most expensive option there. And yeah, you know what, it was a bit mixed on the Wenger thing. I'd say that probably 70% of you are saying that, listen, you don't mind Wenger extending his contract out. Then there was quite a lot of other people who were like, no, time to go. Go in the summer, or no, just don't extend the contract. I think personally, with this news about contract extensions and stuff like that, wait until the summer. Let's see what we do this season, then discuss all that at the end of the season. If Arsene Wenger wins the league, he's in a position of strength. I'm sure most Arsenal fans would be like, yeah, 5-10 years, whatever you want. That's how badly we'd like to win the league. And starting with a big game today against Chelsea, it's massive. Really, really looking forward to the game today. Must-win game for us. The results were a bit mixed for us yesterday. Tottenham won, so they're starting to breathe down our neck. That was a good victory that they had, to be fair, yesterday against Crystal Palace, even though Palace at the moment are woeful, their form. Manchester City drawing with West Ham, so that's given us an opening. But Leicester, very impressive victory against Stoke. We all know that Stoke are not the same sort of team away from home as they are at home is a different proposition. But to beat them 3-0 is still very impressive by Leicester. And we really need to get a victory today. And I think we will. I just look at this game and I think, you know, Chelsea are going to be nervous. They're there for the taking. Arsenal just need to play their game. And it would be great to see, and we know that Ozil's going to be back, it'd be great to see Alexis Sanchez play some part in the game as well. And I think, you know, we haven't played at Emirates for a few weeks. The crowd are really going to be up for it. Really, really looking forward to this game today. And if we can get 3 points, it can make a massive statement for our title credentials, especially seeing that Manchester City slipped up. So looking forward to the game today. Don't forget to check out all of our videos after the game. Don't forget to check out all of the videos that we've done leading up to the game. We've done a lot of cool stuff outside Buckingham Palace, Kings of London videos. Also, check out our 360 virtual reality video we did as like a little experiment, which just seems to have gone down very, very well. And make sure you check that out. But Arsenal Fan TV, clocking out here. Looking forward to the game. Come on, Arsenal. Let's do this.